is why I never use a seating chart. The beginning of the year, beginning of the school year, or beginning of the semester, new quarter, whatever, depending on how often you switch up kids. It's a pivotal time to learn all the information about your kids that you can. One of the first data points that you're gonna get by not setting a seating chart, the kids are gonna come in, they're gonna be amped up off the summertime, they're gonna have their tans, they're also gonna be talking because they're happy to see their friends. They're also gonna be excited that they have a classroom that they can finally come in and sit wherever they want. They're gonna sit with their friends. So now you have an opportunity to do two things. One, you learn who these kids are friends with. You learn who can sit next to their friends. Now you can incentivize them sitting next to their friends. Now I can allow you to sit where you want if you don't talk or if you don't do X, Y, Z, if you complete all your work. You can incentivize where they sit. You could also utilize that as, oh, these people don't shut their mouths. They literally have not stopped talking. I started instruction. I didn't tell them to stop talking, but clearly when an adult speaks, when a teacher speaks, it should be automatic. Even for first grade, it should be automatic. So they didn't stop automatically. So let me give them a warning and say, hey guys, I need you to be quiet. If they don't follow that, guess what? Seating change time. So you now got data. You know who they talk to. You know who their friends are. You know who can function in the role of not having a seating chart. So there's so many good reasons to not use a seating chart. And let's think about the reasons to use a seating chart so that you can remember their names in alphabetical order. That's it. It's the only reason you use a seating chart. If you don't know the kids, you don't know who's friends, you don't know who is not friends still since last year. So you don't know anything about the kids. So why would you put them in alphabetical order just so you can remember their names? Put name tags on their seat, make them do a name, like little folded card with their name on it. If that's your concern. I promise you, it's better and easier ways to learn their name. But anyway, I don't use seating charts. I don't think you should. I think that on the first day, you let the classroom kind of dictate the seating chart based on their behaviors. That's my suggestion. That's my advice. That's one of the key cheat codes for the new teachers. Here's why I always greet students at the door. I think it's important to set the pace in your classroom. It's also important to kind of fill out your kids. I call it a temperature check. If you greet them at the door, you see how they're feeling when they're going in, see their energy level, see who's tired, who's looking excited, who's too amped up from whatever happened last period or whatever happened in the morning or the cafeteria. You get to gauge your classroom real fast, real quick. You also have a chance to watch who's going in, see what's happening in the hallway, which is good teaching, monitoring your students. But you can speak to them. You have a chance to build some rapport with the kids, build community. Hey, I see you got your hair down. You were telling me about those new shoes. You got them. Those shoes you talking about? I like them. That's good stuff. Is that a new code? It's so much you can say to the kids to just build some rapport, build some intrinsic respect within the classroom parameters. You don't have to go in the community to give a compliment. You gotta step out your room, step out your space. If someone's not feeling well, someone hasn't done homework, you can kind of address some of the issues. Some of your kids will get to know you and get to tell you, Deontay is mad because such and such called him a name. It could be something like that. You build rapport, you temp check, gauge how they're feeling. You could also just monitor them better. So I always greet kids at the door, set the tone, who comes in. Think about it. Art museums do it. Who comes in, you meet the security guard. They set the standard like this is what we allow, this is what's not allowed. Get it together. Clubs do it. Big fat security guards, 6'11", ex-NFL linebacker. He can't fight, but he looks tough. He looks mean because they want to set the pace. We're not fighting here. We know you're drinking and going to act crazy, as all teachers do. I mean, except for me. But all teachers do for happy hour. We set the pace. We're controlling the energy in our bar. So if a bar does it, if a museum does it, Walmart does it. They have the old person at the door kind of letting you know, this is family friendly. Hey, Sonny. Why would you not utilize that? Why would you not use that? It's a simple thing. Greet them at the door, set the pace, set your expectations. Let them know if something's going down today. Like today, I want y'all to get ready for the test, or make sure you start your drill on the board. That should be a standard too. A warm-up drill, do now, whatever you want to call it. These should be normal practices. But definitely greet your students at the door. It gives you a head start on any issue that may arise. It also gives you a head start in building rapport and community and relationships with those kids, which is very important if you want to have good, effective classroom management. Why you should always have a do now. Think about it. Your kids come in the classroom, they don't have anything to do. What are they going to start doing? They're going to figure out stuff to do. They're going to play. They're going to throw stuff. They're going to move around. They're going to have no sense of urgency to start anything. Have your do now on the board. Have your drill, your do now, your warm up, whatever you want to call it. Have that on the board. What does that do? It gives them something to do. It gives them a routine to do each and every day. I know when I step in Mr. J's room, I have to do this drill. I know at some point he's going to ask me to get my homework out. So it also allows them to, if you allow it, complete their homework if they didn't, or get their homework out and pass it in. But you set your standard, set your pace. If you don't want them to do homework for whatever reason, it hasn't been done at home, then you would say, you should be working on the drill now. It gives you a chance to be in the hallway to monitor the kids coming in as you're monitoring the kids in your doorway as well. It gives the kids in the room something to do versus just sitting there waiting for you to come in and start. It's wasted educational time. Every second matters. Every second matters in education. So the more routines you can establish, the more consistency the kids get, the more calm they can be, the more relaxed your classroom will be. I guarantee it. Set the pace. Set your norms. Classroom culture starts with a do now activity, doing something when you enter the room. It's a good routine. It's good for the kids. It's good for your classroom management. There's good positive energy if you can have a classroom where kids aren't being chastised for being kids, or they aren't being chastised for exploring or trying or making attempts. It's important to try your best not to be harsh to the kids, not to say you're wrong or that's wrong or no, or make them feel dumb for trying. Some of your kids probably don't know the answers, but they care. They want to impress you. They want to try to show some knowledge, so some progress being made. So they raise their hand and they try and they get it wrong. Your job is to not make them feel bad about trying. So figure out other ways to say, you're wrong. Sometimes you could just redirect them, be like, did you check your work? Or let me see your work. Or can you show me where in the book you found that answer? You can say all those three things depending on what subject it is. And that's a way of them kind of realizing this might not be right. Maybe I should go back and rethink. Maybe I should go back and recalculate if it's math. Maybe I should go back and support my answer. Something like that. You could also say, all right, I want y'all to, if someone says something wrong, I want you to just discuss with a partner wrote briefly what you think their answer is. And then maybe they'll figure out, like, maybe I'm off. Maybe they'll debate. But other ways to kind of get the student to realize they're not correct. You could also check the energy that they say it. And by that I mean, like, sometimes they say, what's 9 times 8? And they might be like 72. And you can be like, are you asking me or are you telling me? That simple redirect kind of makes them go back and check their work, and that was correct. But just simple things like that are ways to kind of keep the kids motivated and keep them reflecting versus going inward and shutting down because you said, no, you're wrong. Stop marking with red pen too. It's a trigger. No red pen, no big red markers. You know, you utilize other colors. But yeah, you want to keep these kids as positive as you can. You give them as many compliments as you can. You can say something like, I like the fact that you're raising your hand, but I want you to make sure you have the right answer after the fact, of course. Or show your work, you know, go up to the board and do it. Or if they get it wrong on the board, ask the student to go help them correct it. So many different ways, but you don't have to go and blatantly just be like, you're wrong, no, whatever. Some teachers seem to take pleasure in that, and that's really weird behavior. This is why I walk students home the first week of school, all the time. You set some type of expectation for who you are as a person by showing you're not afraid of the students and showing you're not afraid of where they're from. Check with your administration, get permission if you need to, but walk in the neighborhoods, walk the kids home. And I would advise doing it when they're not in trouble, because if they're in trouble, it's a bad energy. This teacher wants to come and run up on my house because my kid's in trouble, versus this teacher wants to come around and just say something good about my child. That's cool. I've never had a teacher do that before. If the phones aren't working, you know where they live. You can go to the house and say, hey, Jalen had a great day today. That same person, same teacher presents. 2 weeks later, Jalen was having some difficulty today. I just wanted to tell you face to face. I didn't know if a letter would get home if I sent it with him. So I just wanted to tell you he was having some difficulties, and I think he'll get it together. That would be a conversation. You could also have that conversation with the kid, like, look, I'm gonna walk you home. And just have a conversation with, like, look, I could tell your mother about how horrible you were today, but instead, I'm gonna give you a chance to self-correct. Having a conversation off campus or in the real world and presenting as a human versus some mean old adult teacher. Some kids have adults in their lives who aren't the best. They have issues with authority. They have issues with adults. They might have issues with women. They might have issues with men, white people, black people, Asian people, you name it. Some kids have issues, or they have biases. So you break those walls down by presenting yourself as real, by walking into the community, by showing you're not afraid. That's how you earn respect. That's how you build rapport. That's how you build community. You earn the respect of the neighborhood. You meet people. You see other kids and other students. Kids have a conversation about you like, hey, Mr. J, I saw you walking in my neighborhood. What you know about Division Street? Nothing. But you don't have to tell them that. Back in the day, I used to get my hair done by kids, like older siblings, or by their aunts or by their mothers. And I would just be in the neighborhood, sitting on their front step, chilling, get my hair braided, letting them know, you think you're tough, but you're not. You're not. You're just a kid, and I get it. You gotta portray that image, but I'm not afraid. When I built so much classroom rapport, it allowed the classroom management to go so much more smoothly due to just them knowing that I'm not afraid. So I suggest trying that. Walk the kids home, be a part of the community, walk in the neighborhood.